Hey everyone! In this video today, I want to show you guys how to make this very cute Genderfluid Pride friendship bracelet. You may notice, if you are a bit more advanced, that this is just a candy stripe with one row of something different. This is just a bit more of a simple bracelet today, which hopefully nobody finds too frustrating, but if you are more of a beginner, this bracelet is going to be perfect because it is still a candy stripe, which is extremely basic and easy. But there is one row that adds backward knots into the pattern, so it kind of helps you gain an understanding of a new knot and kind of just adds a nice little unique twist on a regular candy stripe. And if you want to, you can change the colors up. You can have like asexual, agender, aromantic, some sort of color scheme that's going to have black and white with 3 different colors in it. Or if you just like how this pattern looks and want to make it, then use whatever colors you want to use. Nonetheless though, if you want to learn how to make this pattern right here, then keep on watching. For this bracelet, you're going to need 4 of your black strands, 3 of your white strands, and then only 1 strand for each of your 3 colors. I have this sort of pinky color here, although I wish it was a little bit more salmon leaning to be a little bit more accurate to the flag, but that's okay. And then I have this darker pink color and then this sort of like desaturated sort of indigo. And as far as measuring goes, I would say about 35-ish inches should be just fine for this bracelet, but if you are making it longer or shorter, you might need to adjust that accordingly. But 35 inches should be pretty good to allow you to have ties on both ends. Now on this bracelet, I have started a diagonal shape start. If you want to learn how to make this, then I will leave a tutorial in the top right corner. This is completely optional, but it will kind of help the candy stripe work up a little bit more uniform instead of you having to make your knots pretty loose in the beginning so that they can sort of form up a little bit faster and easier. But really, at the end of the day, this is just completely optional. It's just for aesthetic purposes, but whether or not you want to make this is completely up to you. Now, regardless of whether or not you want to make a shape start, you want to order your strings from left to right, white, white, white. So all of your white strings first, and then you have your black, lighter pink, black, darker pink, black, then your sort of indigo color, and then black again. And obviously you can tell that that is the order that the stripes will go in up here. So if you don't want to follow these specific colors, then this is kind of how you'll plan your color order. This pattern is extremely easy. As you can see, there are a ton of candy stripes with really just one row that completely changes it all, which is pretty similar to my pansexual bracelet that I made in my previous tutorial. Really, it's just a candy stripe with a couple different steps. So this is a great pattern for beginners. So we are going to do a lot of rows of candy stripe, but don't worry, we'll go through this all together. We are going to start off with our outermost left strand, and we're going to do forward knots across all of the strings to the right of it to bring it to the right side. And then again, we're going to come back to our outermost left strand, and we are going to do forward knots across all of the strings to the right of it to bring it over to the right side. And yet again, we're going to come back to our outermost left strand and do forward knots across all the strings to the right of it to bring it to the right side. And now that is all of our white strings onto the right side. But as you can see, we are still continuing with our forward knots. So our newest left strand is going to be black, and we are going to make forward knots across all the strings to the right of it to bring it to the right side. And again, come back to your outermost left strand, which will now be our first color in our 3 colors here. And we are going to do forward knots across all of the strings to the right of it to bring it to the right side. And yet again, come back to your outermost left strand and do forward knots across all the strings to the right of it to bring it to the right side. And now finally, with our second color here, or our darker pink strand, we are going to change up the candy stripe rows ever so slightly. So what we want to do first is take our outermost left strand, and we are going to do forward knots across the next 2 strings to the right of it. And then we're going to pick up our next strand in line, which will be our black strand here. And we are going to do a backward knot onto our darker pink strand to the left of it. And then we are going to do 3 forward knots across the next 3 strands to the right of it, which will be all of our white strands here. And now we've come to another black strand here, so we are going to do a backward knot onto the dark pink strand with it. And to finish off the row, we are going to take our dark pink strand again and do 2 forward knots onto the next 2 strands to the right of it. So we're going to come back to our outermost left strand, which will be our black strand again, and we're going to do forward knots across all the strings to the right of it. And now we just have 2 more rows of candy stripe to finish the whole set. So we're going to come back to our outermost left strand again, which will be this sort of indigo color, or it might be your 3rd color. And again, we are going to do forward knots across all of the strands to the right of it. And now, one more time to finish off the whole set, we're going to come back to our newest outermost left strand, which will be our black strand again, and we're going to do forward knots across all of the strands to the right of it. Finally, we have finished one whole set of this pattern. So you can see our strands are back in the same order as they were at the beginning of the tutorial. So that means if you need to follow the video again and follow along all of these steps, then you can just go right back to the beginning of the video, which will also be timestamped in the chapters for you. And you can do that or follow along on the bracelet book pattern, whatever you need to do to be able to feel confident in your knotting and working up the pattern until you have your bracelet finished. So I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video today. I know it's a little bit more simple, but I hope that this also helps those who are more of a beginner who want to kind of move on from the candy stripe but without fully committing to a completely complex pattern. Be sure to check out all of my other videos for Pride Month, and I will see you in the next one.